Well, our first guest today is the author and illustrator of dozens of books for children.
He published this, My Book of Beautiful Oops. It's about finding beauty in mistakes. And we're thrilled to welcome Barney Saltzberg, am I saying it right?
Yes, you are.
To the Yellow Couch. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
Nice to meet you.
Fantastic. Let's talk first before we get to your little buddy here on the couch next to you. You got a little guitar over there that we're not seeing yet. But let's talk a little bit about your book and finding oops and finding beauty in mistakes. What does that mean to you?
Well, there was a book first called Beautiful Oops, and this is the follow-up book. And I travel all over the world. The State Department has sent me to China and to Russia talking about creativity. And in my talks, I have PowerPoint, and it shows a couple of images. One was a coffee cup spilled onto my sketch pad, and I asked kids when they see it, would you want a new one, because there's a stain, and they all say yes. I turned the stain into a monster. Coffee leaked onto the bottom of the book. I turned that into a profile of a gorilla. So teachers asked if I could teach that.
Yeah.
And I tore a piece of paper halfway across one day and realized it looked like the mouth of an alligator. So I thought, this could be fun. And it became a scavenger hunt. What could I mess up and fix?
Right.
And that book has been out since 2010 and been my best-selling book. And this, I'm on a book 16-city tour right now, going around with the My Book of Beautiful Oops, which is a book that you can draw in yourself. And so it's full of prompts.
Okay.
And what I love about it is, for people who say I can't draw, doesn't matter. You can use the hand you don't normally use and close your eyes. There's no mistakes.
So they're making their own oops and fixing, being creative and how to. What inspired you to do something like this?
Teachers. Teachers. I mean, I've been drawing since I was little. I've been doing children's books since I'm 26, so a long time. And I love having kids draw with me, adults draw with me. I'll do it in a restaurant. I'll do it in front of kids at a school and show that you can create something. And a lot of people get a blank piece of paper and freeze. I don't know what to do with it. Tell me what to draw. I have no ideas. He's a better illustrator than I am. And
There's a fear.
I don't care. You can fix it. And you can make something. And you will be able to create something. And I think it's obviously at this point become a much greater life lesson than just art. It's what do you do when there's something that goes not the way you expected? Let's play with it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's this problem-solving aspect to using your creativity, but it also seems in a way that, you know, when you talk about the coffee stains and such, that you're almost teaching resilience at the same time.
Absolutely is a word I use a lot.
You do? And I think that that's one of those things parents and teachers and grandparents oftentimes have a tough time figuring out, how do I get my child to be resilient? Something goes wrong, they throw a tantrum. Something goes wrong and they can't see any positive, you know, aspects. So you're truly using these even illustrations to teach resilience.
It's exactly right, and one of the comments I get the most is from parents who have children and adults in their lives who say they're afraid, every time they make a mistake they tear up their artwork and they're afraid to do anything. OCD becomes a big part of this. And after having read Beautiful Oops, they are willing to take a risk, and if they do make a mistake they say, oh, it's a beautiful oops. And it's really almost at this point playing with just the concept of taking out the penalty of and the sting of a mistake. Oops, I think, is a softer word. And My Book of Beautiful Oops is an opportunity to play, which is something that I think is sorely missing from most people's lives right now. And to know that you could do this and no one's ever going to look at it and say, you did it wrong. Because whatever you do is perfect.
Oops is a more fun word than mistake.
Isn't it?
Think of oops.
That was
Oops.
my
Everyone
wife.
loves
My
oops.
wife did that one.
Oops. Well, good for her. It reminds me, as a child, I draw, and one of the things that I could never do is keep my drawing on one page, and I used to get so upset about it. I'd draw too big for the actual page, and so my mom finally said, well, why don't you add another page and continue drawing?
Did you?
And so I did.
Oh, okay.
And so I have all these drawings from when I was younger, specifically of multiple pages, where the drawings took multiple pages, but what that taught me was to not be afraid, and I think, and to be resilient, to do those, and to figure things out. And so what do you hear kids saying when you're in these schoolrooms, you're talking to kids, you show them these things? Do you get kind of like an audible gasp ever, or kind of excitement?
It's been, and again, I've done 62 books. The oops and the follow-up, this one, nothing has happened like this. I've had parents, teachers cry, saying that my child is now changing because of your book. I've never had that happen. The comment also is, because I'll do a squiggle, which I want to do with you guys.
Yeah, we're almost out of time, so let's have you do it right now.
Real quick. So here, real quick, let's do this, and if you take this and just go zip, 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 like you're testing it out.
Boy, do I get to do something
It'd be really even better if it worked better like this. No, we don't want him to come up. Let's do that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, stop. So, this is perfect. You could leave this alone and say, this is a noodle doing yoga.
Okay.
Okay? It's a dancing worm. And
Right.
if I give this to each of you, anything you draw is perfect. But I'm just going to play really quickly and go
Look at that.
like this.
And it's a face.
And you know how he's feeling just from that look.
Yeah.
Now, you could also say, maybe he's not so nice.
Oh, now he's mad.
And you could say, I don't like any of these, but these teeth remind me of monsters.
Yeah.
Or the teeth remind me of mountains.
Right.
And go that way. It's just to get loose.
Yeah.
And so that's really kind of my purpose at this point.
I love
Adorable.
it. You, I got to just tout for you because we're out of time, but you also used to write songs for the PBS show Arthur. I know people are huge fans of Arthur out there.
Yeah.
So where can people get your book?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Support your
Online, at local stores.
But it's anywhere, but mom and pop stores are my faves.
Love
There
it.
it
Ours
is.
too. BeautifulOops.com is where you can find out more. Can they find out to have you come to their school? Do you do?
My name, BarneySaltzberg.com, is, I have people who do that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here,
Thank
Barney.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Pleasure.